Hi, everybody. This is the self-awareness activity for the week of February 8th to the 14th. So the contemplation card is fear. So this is the definition that the Course in Miracles presents, and it is fear is a prayer for what we don't want. So this week, be aware of what you are afraid of, what you have been afraid of in your life, and realize that our emotional field is magnetic and it tends to attract to us things that we are thinking about, that is a consistent thing, a chronic thing. So check in where your fear has become a self-propelling prophecy, a prayer that has been answered, in other words. But also, please, in the realm of fear, it's not just, it's a spider. It's fear presents itself very often in overthinking, overanalyzing, trying to future-proof life way beyond what you can possibly predict. It often shows up with people, again, wanting predictions is another one, so that they know whether or not they're making the right move. It's that sense of trying to figure out the future so that you will ultimately be safe. So keep in mind different aspects of fear and how they might show up in your world this week and where they have been placed in your world previously. Because a lot of times we take on fear as kind of this fundamental way of protection, of operating, and especially kids, if there's any kind of insecurity, a sick parent, an absent parent, a parent who travels a lot and is just away, even though everything else might be fine, there can be a real sense of insecurity with that. And that can bring in fear, a sense of being ungrounded, okay? The attitude or the energy, yes, the energy that you are being, oh, the attitude that you are being asked to embrace as an energy is prayerfully, okay? This can mean actively praying or invoking the support of a divine presence. Alternatively, it can mean letting your mind and actions reflect an attitude of acceptance, or at least the possibility of a higher power which is there to guide you. It could be maintaining an awareness of something sacred or mystical and acting with the acceptance that this is present even in the most seemingly mundane activities. You choose all, okay? I think this is really important because prayerfully doesn't have to mean fearfully praying for the outcome that you want. For me, this concept of being prayerful is a reminder that the divine, God, angels, the sacred, however you relate to that in words, is always present in everything all the time anyway. So it's reminding yourself of that. And as you do that, you become a tuning fork. Prayer as we know it, or deliberate intention energetically, has proven through double-blind studies to be effective with long-distance work, with energy healing, things of that nature. Never, ever doubt the fact that your thoughts and your mind are connected to the matrix of energy that is group consciousness. Never, ever doubt that your attitude helps change things, okay? So you're being asked this week, in the face of fear, in the face of everything, embrace that prayerful attitude that was just described here. And then the third card I really like is I really like. And for me, this is, again, it works beautifully with this idea of fear and prayerful, because it's this. Today, whenever you're tempted to tell someone what's wrong with them, who you wish they were instead, or who they should be, that includes even in your own head about governments, politics, economics, people in your own community. Tell them instead how much you like and appreciate the qualities you're privately hoping to see more of. Don't demand or criticize. Don't even mention that you'd like more. If more of it, there's a typo, more of it, because that implies they're not enough. Make sure that you really let yourself genuinely feel the appreciation of the events or qualities you mention. So in this case, how I would apply this for me personally is I would say, okay, where am I finding myself focusing on things that are negative, that are creating fear? or worry or over concern, over caution. And where can I put my head instead to focus on the positive of that situation? So, for example, the recent political climate. Well, okay, I can focus on what's going on that's wrong, or I can look at it and I could say, well, that seems to be really wrong and have a lot of values that concern me. On the other hand, what I can see happening in this quarter, or in this quadrant, with my community, is it's bringing a whole bunch of people together and it's waking a lot of people up. So maybe that's great. What would I like more of? Oh, I would really like to see people more awake. Okay, isn't that great? And also in a personal dynamic too. I mean, I can see seriously where even just within conflicts within friends, where you can focus on things that have troubled you, or you can focus on the good about that person, especially if what you know is you're just going off on a tangent about a behavior that was a little bit but is not some kind of pathological pattern that you need to address. So you can look at it in many of these different ways, and you could also look at this, the I really like function, to yourself. So another way to approach this is, what are you afraid of in yourself? What are you afraid of that might take away your sense of self, that might indicate a weakness or a fear of something that's going to disrupt your life, a bad choice, an inability to do something, a fear that you won't follow through, whatever those are. And instead of letting yourself believe in that, how can you remember that there is sacred in you, there is sacred in everything, and that instead of focusing on the things that you're concerned about in yourself, afraid of, or negative about, how can you focus on the positive and allow that to build your energy and nourish you in a way that whatever is a deficit or an area of ignorance that you could easily, happily benefit from growing in. And when I say ignorance, I'm not talking stupidity, I'm talking about needing to learn something, that you can actually build the resources to do that and not look at it as a negative, but look at it as, okay, yeah, that's really good. You know what? I like the fact that I can identify that and then I can choose to move forward with it. So there's so many different possibilities in terms of how you can work with this. Fear, prayerfully, and I really like. Okay? And that is it for the week. That was a bit longer than normal. Hope you stuck with it. Take care.